Hi, PerspectaWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Friday, July 20th. A significant coastal storm is in the works for the Mid-Atlantic region from later Saturday into Saturday night, early Sunday morning. This significant coastal storm will just be the beginning of a very wet weather pattern shaping up for the eastern third of the nation. Once this coastal storm passes by on Sunday, we'll continue to have the threat for showers and thunderstorms, and that threat will continue right through next week. A deep tropical flow of air will form along the eastern seaboard over the next couple of days and continue right through next week. This tropical moisture will flow northward from the Caribbean Sea, the Gulf of Mexico, the southwestern Atlantic, all the way up along the eastern seaboard and contribute to this very wet weather pattern that is likely to result in several inches of rain for the I-95 corridor over the next several days. Flooding can certainly become a serious concern as we move through this upcoming very wet stretch of weather for the eastern third of the nation. This is the forecast map from NOAA's forecast last night over the next 7 days. The total precipitation amounts for the next 7 days. And the big picture here, just look. Anybody in the eastern third of the nation is in line for significant rainfall over the next several days. We're talking on the order of 5, 6, 7 inches of rain, perhaps even higher than that in some spots over the next several days. Again, flooding can certainly become a concern, beginning with this coastal storm threat later tomorrow, but continuing right through next week. Well, let's take a look at a current U.S. satellite image. Two main players here I want to point out that show up quite nicely on this particular satellite image. First of all, this cloud patch right here in the upper part of the Midwest, the south central part of Canada, is where the upper level low is currently located. We've talked about this deep upper level trough, unusually strong for this time of the year, the middle part of July. It is centered this morning right over the upper part of the Midwest, and it will be sliding slowly to the south and east over the next couple of days and will be a major player in this very wet weather pattern shaping up for the eastern third of the nation for the next several days. Meanwhile, the southeast U.S., somewhat different cloud patterns right here with embedded convection, embedded thunderstorms right along the southeast U.S. coastline. This is indeed where the surface low is starting to form. Right now, as we speak, surface low pressure starting to take shape right here. All these thunderstorms surrounding it, indicative of an unstable environment. Intensification will indeed take place as this slowly pulls along the Carolina coastline over the next 24 hours. By early tomorrow, somewhere right in this region right here, over the northeastern part of North Carolina, southeastern part of Virginia. Then it will continue to intensify as it moves along the Delmarva Peninsula coastline region, Jersey coastline, and then by later tomorrow night slamming into New York City, Long Island, ultimately the interior part of New England by early Sunday, where it will begin to weaken. But that is not the end of the wet weather. That is really just the beginning of this wet weather pattern shaping up for the eastern third of the nation. Well, we've talked for several days now about this unusually strong upper level feature. These are the forecast maps from the 6Z ensemble run of the GFS at 500 millibars, the upper levels of the atmosphere, the height anomalies. Here is that deep upper level low, and it is going to move slowly south and east over the next 24 hours. Notice the orientation of this trough axis by tomorrow morning. This is what we call a negatively tilted trough axis that extends from the upper level low, which is situated right here, from the northwest to the southeast. Whenever you have a setup like this in the upper part of the atmosphere, this particular quadrant of this overall upper level system has strong upward motion. I'll indicate that with a plus right here, and this strong upward motion right over the Mid-Atlantic region will aid in the intensification of this coastal storm on Saturday. Again, it'll ride along the Delmarva Peninsula coastline, the Jersey coastline, and slam into New York City, Long Island later tomorrow night, ultimately into the interior part of New England by early Sunday morning. So let's keep moving forward here as we see this upper level low does not move too quickly. It sets up shop over the Ohio Valley, and this will become a major player in the very wet weather pattern over the eastern third of the nation. This is now by Monday morning. Deep tropical moisture will flow from the Caribbean Sea, the Bahamas, the Gulf of Mexico, all the way along the eastern seaboard from the south to the north at all levels of the atmosphere. We will indeed be in a tropical air mass right here in the mid-Atlantic region, not only this weekend, but for much of next week. Let's keep moving forward here. Notice deep upper level low still situated there by Tuesday morning, and indeed by Wednesday morning, still sitting right there in the southeast U.S. with tropical moistures all along the east coast well into next week. Well, let's now take a look at last night's surface forecast maps from the 6E GFS operational model run. First of all, moisture associated with that upper level feature and the surface reflection as well, and down in the southeast U.S., moisture associated with that developing, intensifying coastal storm here. Let's move forward in 6-hour increments. By the time Saturday morning rolls around, low pressure southeastern Virginia, northeastern North Carolina, and it continues to intensify and move northward along the Delmarva Peninsula by later tomorrow, over southern New Jersey, southeastern Pennsylvania by early tomorrow night, and then ultimately slamming into New York City, Long Island later tomorrow night, and then into interior New England by Sunday morning. This coastal storm does not move out to sea. It weakens on Sunday in the interior section of New England. Notice, however, low pressure associated with that upper level feature situated over the Ohio Valley comes Sunday morning. And here we are. Just take a look at this flow of air. Winds generally flow parallel to isobars, and this is what will happen not only the latter part of the weekend, but right through next week. Tropical moisture from the Caribbean Sea, the Gulf of Mexico, southwestern Atlantic, riding right up along the eastern seaboard for the next several days. This is Sunday night. Let's keep moving forward here. And each and every afternoon, here we are Monday afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Tuesday afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Continuation of a flow of air from the south to the north along the east coast here. Wednesday, showers and thunderstorms. Thursday, same thing here. And let's end with Friday. Still some showers along the east coast. A very wet weather pattern setting up for the eastern third of the nation. Begins with a significant coastal storm for the mid-Atlantic region from later tomorrow into tomorrow night, early Sunday. Some significant rainfall and gusty winds from the coastal sections to the immediate I-95 corridor associated with this coastal storm. Perhaps even some scattered power outages. That's it for now. For PerspectaWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.